Hello, welcome back to my hot kitchen. I'm Wendy, and this evening's romantic meal will feature a crisp green salad with homemade strawberry blue cheese vinaigrette, smoked salmon cakes with a vodka cream sauce, orzo pasta to go underneath it, and steamed vegetables. So playing the role of the appetizer this evening will be the nice crisp green salad with the homemade strawberry blue cheese vinaigrette. Another thing that you can make homemade is the croutons. So I have a slice of white bread here, Italian style, and I'm going to spread a little butter on both sides of it and season it up. Now, store-bought croutons are nice and convenient, but you never know what's in them really. So homemade croutons can be made to match your flavor preferences exactly. And besides that, you generally know what's in them. So that's a little bit of butter, and I'm going to steal some herbs from the salad dressing. That's a little marjoram right there, a little bit of parsley, and the other ingredient is good old classic garlic salt, sprinkled liberally on top. And then flip over and repeat on the other side. And then there's lots of ways that you can dry out the bread. You can toast it, you can dehydrate it, you can microwave it. My favorite way is to toast it gently. Another great point about homemade croutons is that you can control the fat. Croutons are a surprising source of fat in a salad. And if you make them yourselves, you can keep them leaner. So I've got my oven toasting on a low temperature, and I'm just gonna let it sit there while I work on the salad. Next thing to get started on is the apple. So I'm just going to drive my knife in there and work around the core, cutting off the good parts of the fruit. And then I will slice these up into nice little slices. Give myself some room here. I like my salad to have lots of ingredients on it. Fruit, nuts, herbs, it's all got to be there. I find it's way easier to eat my vegetables when they taste really good. Alrighty. So you can just take these guys and pop them over here on your salad greens. I'll sit there patiently while you work up the dressing. So the dressing is a fun and easy thing to make here. I've got red wine vinegar, and I'm going to do about 1 part red wine vinegar, a little splash of water, and I'm going to add to that about a tablespoon of strawberry jam. That's where the strawberry comes in. And the jam also doubles as the sugar in the dressing to help offset the tartness of the vinegar. Also, a nice little wallop of mustard. The mustard acts as an emulsifier and helps to hold the dressing together as it sits on the salad. And then herbs. I have here thyme and parsley and marjoram and chives. And I'm just going to add all those into the dressing at this point. And blue cheese, about 1 ounce of crumbled blue cheese. And then I'm going to mix all this stuff up together in the vinegar. And the vinegar is going to help to break down the jam and the cheese and the herbs. Whisk it together until I see that the blue cheese has started to break up. And then I will add about 2 parts of my favorite oil, which is of course olive oil. Salt and pepper now too. Several generous shakes of salt, a few nice grinds of pepper, and then whisk it all together again. This whisking can also be done in a blender if you want a really emulsified dressing. Give it a little taste. That's really good. I can taste the tartness of the vinegar, the sweetness of the strawberry, and the herbs. It's quite extraordinary. Now for the final step, 1/4 cup of whole hazelnuts. If all you have is parts of hazelnuts, that's fine too. Just put some dressing on here. Now this is definitely enough dressing for several salads, not just this one. Now I need my crouton, which I'm just going to break up. It's kind of hot. Just going to break it up over the salad here. Whew. Break up those bigger clumps too. I like my croutons kind of big. And the fun thing Another fun thing about homemade croutons is the fun random shapes that you get. Real food. Give the salad a little toss here. Make sure all the leaves of lettuce are coated. All right, this is ready for an appetizer course now. Little bowls. Now I find that mesclun blend lettuce is a little bit rowdy. And it also likes to sort all the garnishes to the bottom of the bowl. That's okay. Once you've scooped off the lettuce, you'll find all the apples and hazelnuts and croutons down there. There we go. See, there's all those little yummy things right there. And then to really make it pop, add a few nice big crumbles of blue cheese. We call that a cheese tax.
Hey.
Hi.
Could you use these? Mm-hmm. Wow, this looks delicious. Mm. Holy cow.
Good?
Yum!
Well, that was a delicious little salad. Just the right sort of thing to get the appetizer going, not fill you up, like a little teaser. So the next thing to get started on is the vodka cream sauce. It's going to use a basic technique of building a bechamel sauce. So right now I'm melting about a tablespoon of butter on medium-low heat. Once it's almost all melted, I'm going to add flour and cook that for a little bit. The only thing that's different about this versus a bechamel is I'm actually going to take the roux to like a caramel color. There we go, about a tablespoon of flour. Get that good and mixed in there. And just stir it periodically as it cooks. So the roux is progressing beautifully, and it's the color that I want to see right about now. Just a nice light caramel color, and the aroma reminds me of toast. Righty. So the next thing is to take it off the heat for just a moment, and then add 1 ounce of vodka. Woo! A nice dry white wine will do the trick too, but vodka has a much more theatrical effect and a really good flavor to it. So once that winds down a little bit, you can go ahead and add your milk. Got 3/4 of a cup of milk here. And start by drizzling in a little bit of milk at first. It's kind of like a speedy tempering process. There we go. What you don't want to do is scorch the milk. Once you've got it all into the pot, you can put it back on the heat and grab a whisk and start whisking it all together. Make sure your heat is still on at this point. As the milk heats, the butter and the flour will melt and meld into one beautiful smooth sauce. Once you have achieved that texture, you can put a lid on it and simmer it gently for at least 15 minutes or until the flavor of the flour is completely cooked out. All right, well, I'm satisfied with that. So I'm going to put my lid on and let it cook. And while your sauce cooks, it's a great time to go ahead and get the orzo pasta cooking as well. Most orzo pastas are going to take about 10 minutes to cook, but follow the directions on the package. Those will be your best guide. And like with any pasta, you want to make sure to stir it well, salt the water very generously. There we go. And add a bit of olive oil just to help prevent sticking and enhance the flavor. All right, so over here we have the smoked salmon cakes in the works. And what I have are about 4 or 5 ounces of nice smoked salmon. When you're picking out the smoked salmon, I recommend that you look for a type that has the least amount of salt. That way you get the most flavor, and your heart will thank you for it. And then just kind of break it up in your fingers. Make sure you're feeling it carefully to pick up any bones that might still be left in there. This is real fish. Real fish have real bones. You certainly don't want those in your smoked salmon cakes. So once you've got most of the salmon broken up, you can go ahead and add your handful of spinach and your 3 finely minced mushrooms. And I've cut the spinach into a chiffonade, so it's that long, pretty ribbon-like cut. There's the mushrooms. 1 green onion. Also a pinch of fresh dill. Go ahead and crack an egg into it. And then blend it together, making sure to whip up that egg first. Another element to fold in at this time is sour cream. You can also substitute mayonnaise or yogurt if that's what you have on hand, or that's what you prefer to work with. And you just want to blend all these ingredients together. And then once everything is moistened and the sour cream and the egg are evenly distributed through the mix, go ahead and add in a few breadcrumbs just to make it a nice cohesive mixture. Now I can't tell you exactly how much breadcrumb it's going to take to make your mixture right, because it's going to vary based on all sorts of factors: the moisture in the fish, how much sour cream or mayonnaise you actually used, the humidity, you know, lots of things. So you just kind of have to go with your feel here. What you're looking for is a mixture that is very moldable, something that you can form into a little cake, just like that. I'm going to go wash off my hands and then we'll drain out the pasta. Alrighty, let's go get that pasta off the heat here. So I have in my sink a fine mesh colander. Pour the pasta into that, and then I'm going to hit it with some cool water to stop it from cooking. That should do the trick right there. Then I'm going to add a little bit more water back into this pot because I have another use for it a little bit later. Set it off to the side for now. And it's a great time to take a look at the vodka cream sauce as well. Beautiful. That cooked down nicely. It's nice and thick now. So I'm going to take it off the heat and add just a couple more ingredients to it. First of all, another dollop of sour cream. Whisk that in. And then about a ½ ounce of grated Asiago, Parmesan, or Romano cheese. Use the fine grate if possible so that it blends easier. And whisk that in together until you see that the cheese is completely melted. Give it a little taste. That's really, really good. And then season it to taste with a little salt and pepper. I actually like mine just the way it is, so I'm just going to put a lid on it, set it off to the side, and hold it till I'm ready for dinner. All right, and then I'm going to get a nice big pan pre-warming. This is going to be for sautéing the smoked salmon cakes. Nice medium to medium-high temperature. And I'm also going to be affixing my little pot of water here with a steamer basket and a lid. That's for the vegetables. And the orzo is going to need a little love too. Just a little bit of olive oil stirred into it to help keep it from sticking, so that when you're ready for dinner, it's ready for you. All right, that should do the trick. Now back over here to work on forming some little fun patties. So you're gonna need breadcrumbs and a nice clean working surface in front of you here. One more little stir just to make sure that everything's nice and even in there. Alrighty. Then divide it up into about 4s here. Grab about 1/4 of it at a time. Make a nice generous smoked salmon cake. Begin by first forming it into a nice clean little ball and then pressing it out. And then these breadcrumbs over here go on the outside of it, and that helps add a nice texture to it. They are a little delicate. They will firm up as they cook because the egg will coagulate. So just handle them very gingerly at this point. Bend them to your will. Then I'm gonna wash my hands again. All right, and then just take this whole operation, minus the knife and breadcrumbs, over here. So that way you don't damage them in transit. And then to your nice pre-warmed pan, add a bit of olive oil. And then allow it to pre-warm in the pan for just a second. You should see it turn nice and glossy, maybe smell a little olive oil cooking, maybe see a little tendril of smoke. And then add the delicious salmon cakes. Share a nice low sizzle when you first put them in the pan. Put them in the middle so that they get the maximum exposure to the heat. Swirl the pan around so that the bottoms get all loved up by the oil. And then flip them when they're nice and golden brown. All right, well, these are ready for a flip now. Very carefully turn them over. Those look great. Outstanding. Smells so good. You can smell the richness of the salmon and the onions all cooking together. Come on, darling. There we go. Still plenty of oil in my pan here, so I'm just gonna scoot them around and make sure they're all loved up on this side too. Place them back into the middle. Righty. And now that we're on the final step of the smoked salmon cakes, I'm going to go ahead and get the vegetables steaming here. So I've got several florets of broccoli and a few shoots of asparagus. I'm just going to drop that in a steamer basket here. Season it gently with a little garlic salt. And put a lid back on it. I'm going to let those steam for about 3 to 5 minutes or until I see the colors brighten significantly. So these are now ready to come out. I'm going to set them on a little paper towel here to drain. Not that they're that greasy anyway, but you know, who needs a bunch of fat with their romantic meals? Then, kind of clean out the goop here in the pan. Add just a touch more olive oil. And this is how you can rewarm your orzo. Just drop it all in there. Toss it for a couple minutes. Just give it a moment to heat back up. Excellent. That'll be ready for plating here. Go ahead and check the doneness on my vegetables as well. Whew. Those look done to me. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the heat now. And then I'm gonna put the sauce back on the burner for just a second too, just to rewarm it. Couple spoonfuls of orzo in there. Look at those bad boys right on top there. Asparagus. Gorgeous broccoli. A little sauce to finish it off, drizzled over the top here. Well, let's get these beauties on the table. Well, that was a fun little meal to whip up with you tonight. And what a great way to liven up an old classic like crab cakes. Change out the crab for a little smoked salmon, and it's like a whole new experience. Pair this up with a little crisp white wine or a sparkling wine and call in your sweetie. Toodaloo, apron. Honey?
Here I am.
Hi.
Oh, this smells yummy.
Smoked salmon cakes.
Yeah.
Asparagus and broccoli.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Yummy salmon cakes. This is such a hot kitchen.
So thanks for joining me in my hot kitchen tonight. Have fun turning up the heat in your kitchen, and I'll see you next week. Night night.